I do not think that anyone's being nearly as harsh enough or tough enough, and I'm not, and I'm including you, sir. I'm sorry. Do you know who Mark Templeton is at Equifax?
I actually know the leadership of all of these companies. Going to be speaking to one of the CEOs later this afternoon.
Do you know who Mark Templeton is?
He is
on the audit committee of Equifax. Do you know that he was the former CEO of Citrix, which bills itself as one of the foremost cybersecurity companies in the world? How does this happen? I'm tired of shareholders getting banged for things that CEOs and boards of directors do. How does this man stay on, given the fact that he was the head of Citrix, a premier cybersecurity company, on the audit committee, and everything's fine because we decided to sacrifice Smith? How come the culture doesn't change? Why is the culture allowed to stay at Wells Fargo? Why do the shareholders always have to pay? Why does this make any sense at all to anyone?
Yeah, look, Jim, shareholders need to hold their leadership to account. And I know you're on that subject frequently, and I think you're very effective on that subject. It is meaningful that Equifax's CEO has been forced out here, but it is not sufficient. Having scapegoats is fine, and some people are happy with that. I think we need to work to fix the problem and put the right regime in place. And that goes beyond just the board of Equifax. It means having monitoring and oversight that's preventative in nature so that we can be sure that the public trust is being carried out here. And I think that the companies need to welcome this, and it's going to have to change.
Would you be in favor of clawing back some of these exit bonuses that are being reported?
I don't have authority over that, but it makes sense as a citizen of the United States. I would think that would make sense in these situations. Absolutely.
Mr. Cordray, you cut me off in the Sherman Sterling report. We have learned from the banking crisis of the late last decade that it is culture. It is not individuals. It's the culture. The Sherman and Sterling report, which Wells Fargo gave me and told me, hey, listen, you read this, you're going to like it. I read the report, and I said that culture is corrupt. And I don't know how anyone who reads that report could possibly disagree. It wasn't me who said it. It was Sherman and Sterling who said it. But that report comes out and nothing happens.
No,
we just say, wow, that was a long report, 110 pages.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jim. That report absolutely demonstrated that there was a culture problem at Wells Fargo. And what kind of problem was it? People were cheating one another and cheating the system and cheating customers and hurting customers, and it was considered all right as long as they could tout the cross-selling numbers and the stock price continued to go up. Okay, so what we need is a preventive system in place with monitoring. We've put out a bulletin that all of the banks are now following that says you can do just minimal monitoring. You almost had to not want to try to do this before. Minimal monitoring to detect outliers in your system, to detect where these bonus systems may be going off the rails, and you have to do that. That is happening. That's part of our horizontal review of all the banks, and this is changing. But the culture was rotten. You're absolutely right. How could you get to a point where 5,000 or 10,000 employees had to be let go? That's because you let it get out of hand, you didn't monitor it carefully, and by the time it all came home to roost, it's gross. And it was grotesque in Wells Fargo's case, no question.
Finally, Richard, a lot of people have tried to get you to comment on whether or not you'll fill out your term. You've said no comment. Can we get you to change that? And if not, when will you say something?
I can't speak to that while I'm in my current position, as you know, and I will just stick with my no comment. Thank you.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.